This is the story of every American plane that took to the skies in World War II. From nimble fighters to massive bombers, from vital transports to early drones, each aircraft had a mission, and some left an indelible mark on history. Join us as we explore their role in the skies of World War II. Let's start with fighters and interceptors. Bell P-39 Airacobra. Famous for its unique cockpit entry, this fighter's main weapon was a 37mm cannon firing right through the propeller hub. It saw extensive, highly successful service in the Soviet Air Force. Boeing P-26 Peashooter, a pre-war relic and America's last fighter with an open cockpit and fixed landing gear. By 1941, it was obsolete, but it served bravely in the Philippines. Brewster F-2A Buffalo, the U.S. Navy's first monoplane fighter. Though bulky and underperforming against the Japanese Zero, it found unexpected success with Finnish pilots. Curtiss P-36 Hawk, an early modern fighter design that performed well in French service during the Battle of France. By 1941, it was mostly relegated to training or colonial duties. Curtiss P-40 Warhawk, rugged, dependable, and the backbone of the Army Air Force at the war's start. Its low-altitude performance made it legendary with the Flying Tigers. Grumman F-4F Wildcat, a tough, slow, but reliable carrier-based fighter. Its ability to absorb punishment made it indispensable during the early Pacific naval battles. Grumman F-6F Hellcat, known as the Zero Killer, this robust fighter replaced the Wildcat and achieved a staggering 19-to-1 kill ratio against Japanese planes. Lockheed P-38 Lightning. With its distinctive twin booms, this long-range escort fighter was in continuous production from Pearl Harbor to VJ Day. Lockheed P-332 Lightning, a stripped-down export version of the P-38, originally intended for Britain and France, later retained by the U.S. after France fell. North American P-51 Mustang, arguably the finest piston-engine fighter of the war. With the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, it escorted bombers deep into Germany. Northrop P-61 Black Widow, America's first radar-equipped night fighter, a large, powerful plane with a three-man crew designed to hunt enemy bombers under cover of darkness. Republic P-35, an early all-metal fighter from Seversky, a stepping stone toward the P-47 Thunderbolt, providing vital pre-war experience for pilots. Republic P-43 Lancer, an important high-altitude interim fighter. Many were sent to China, where they served until P-40s arrived. Republic P-47 Thunderbolt, affectionately called the Jug, this massive fighter was durable, fast in a dive, and a devastating ground attack platform. Seversky P-35, an innovative pre-war design helping transition the Army Air Force to modern monoplanes. It served briefly before newer models replaced it. Vought F-4U Corsair, the Whistling Death. Its inverted gull wings accommodated a massive propeller, making it one of the fastest and most iconic carrier fighters of the war. Next, bombers. Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress, the iconic four-engine heavy bomber, famed for withstanding massive flak and fighter attacks over Europe. Consolidated B-24 Liberator, extremely common with massive load capacity and exceptional range. More of these were produced than any other American aircraft. Boeing B-29 Superfortress, a technological marvel, this very heavy bomber delivered the atomic bombs and played a key role in Japan's defeat. Douglas B-18 Bolo, a pre-war medium bomber quickly relegated to transport and coastal patrol due to low speed. Douglas B-23 Dragon, an improved B-18. It saw little combat, mostly serving as a high-speed executive transport across the U.S. Martin B-26 Marauder, early on nicknamed the Widowmaker for its high landing speed. Once mastered, it became a highly effective and tough medium bomber. North American B-25 Mitchell, famous for the Doolittle raid. This versatile medium bomber flew missions from high-level bombing to low-level strafing. Lockheed Ventura, developed from the Lodestar transport, it served primarily with the RAF for patrol and bombing, later with the U.S. Navy as a patrol bomber. Douglas A-20 Havoc, nimble, fast, and effective, this light bomber excelled as a night intruder and ground strafer in all theaters. Douglas A-24 Banshee, the Army version of the SBD Dauntless dive bomber. It suffered heavy losses in early Pacific operations, especially in the Dutch East Indies. Douglas A-26 Invader, a fast, versatile twin-engine light bomber. Arriving late in the war, it proved invaluable for its speed and devastating ground attack firepower. Martin Maryland, a light attack bomber supplied to France and Britain, crucial in early North African and Mediterranean operations. Martin Baltimore, an evolution of the Maryland, tough and reliable,
serving extensively with British and Commonwealth forces in the Mediterranean. North American A-36 Apache, the P-51 dive bomber variant, used widely in North Africa and the Mediterranean for precise ground attack missions. Northrop A-17, a sturdy pre-war monoplane attack aircraft, quickly declared obsolete and mostly used for training early in the war. Volti Vengeance, a two-seat dive bomber, heavily used by the RAF and RAAF in Southeast Asia. Curtiss SB-2C Helldiver, nicknamed the Beast. Initially plagued by poor handling, it matured into a reliable dive bomber later in the war. Douglas SBD Dauntless, the decisive dive bomber of the early Pacific War. Its pinpoint accuracy sank Japanese carriers at Midway. Douglas TBD Devastator, the U.S. Navy's first monoplane torpedo bomber. Tragically slow and obsolete, it suffered heavy losses at Midway. Grumman TBF Avenger, a rugged torpedo bomber that replaced the Devastator. Reliable and powerful, it became essential for carrier strikes in the later war. Vought SB-2U Vindicator, a pre-war scout bomber. It saw limited action early in the war, notably at the Battle of Midway, before being replaced by more modern dive bombers. Next, patrol aircraft and flying boats. Boeing 314 Clipper, not a combat plane, but this famous civilian flying boat was pressed into wartime transport, providing vital long-distance logistics across oceans. Consolidated PBY Catalina, iconic patrol bomber. Slow but durable, with long range, it was essential for reconnaissance, anti-submarine warfare, and daring rescue missions. Consolidated PB-2Y Coronado, a massive four-engine flying boat primarily used for long-range transport across the Pacific, moving personnel and critical cargo. Consolidated PB-4Y2 Privateer, a single-tailed evolution of the B-24 Liberator, purpose-built for long-range maritime patrols in the U.S. Navy. Douglas Dolphin, a small high-wing amphibian, mainly used for coastal patrol and light transport early in the war. Grumman J-2F Duck, a reliable biplane amphibian, serving as air-sea rescue, coastal patrol, and target towing. Grumman J-4F Widgeon, a smaller twin-engine amphibian, serving as a light transport and anti-submarine patrol aircraft along U.S. coasts. Grumman JRF Goose, the larger twin-engine predecessor to the Widgeon, highly successful as a utility transport for both military and Coast Guard service. PBY-PH, a large patrol flying boat built by the Naval Aircraft Factory, serving the Coast Guard throughout the early war period. Martin PBM Mariner, twin-engine patrol bomber flying boat, a mainstay of anti-submarine operations, especially crucial in the Battle of the Atlantic. Naval Aircraft Factory N3N, a rugged, bright yellow primary trainer, nicknamed the Yellow Peril. It taught thousands of naval aviators how to fly. Transports and utility aircraft. Beechcraft C-45 Expeditor, military version of the Model 18 light transport, reliable as a high-speed utility and liaison aircraft. Bud RB-1 Canistoga, unique stainless steel transport with a clamshell cargo door for easy vehicle loading. Cessna C-165 Airmaster, a small civilian plane pressed into service as a light utility and liaison transport during wartime buildup. Consolidated C-87 Liberator Express, transport conversion of the B-24 bomber, essential for long-range logistics across Atlantic and Pacific theaters. Curtiss C-46 Commando, the massive twin-engine transport, the largest and heaviest twin used by the Allies, vital for flying the treacherous hump route. Douglas C-47 Skytrain, the unparalleled transport workhorse, reliable, easy to maintain, and crucial for airborne operations worldwide.
Douglas C-53 Skytrooper, troop transport variant of the C-47, bench seats instead of cargo doors, built to move soldiers efficiently. Douglas C-54 Skymaster, four-engine transport capable of long-haul flights, VIP transport, and major logistical moves. Fairchild Argus, civilian Fairchild F-24 pressed into service, primarily a light transport and liaison aircraft in the European theater. Howard GH, light utility transport derived from a civilian racing plane providing high-speed communications. Lockheed Electra, elegant twin-engine airliner used for limited military transport and navigation training early in the conflict. Lockheed Lodestar, a larger, faster Electra used extensively by the RAF and U.S. military as a reliable utility transport. Nordøen Norseman, rugged Canadian bush plane employed by the U.S. Army for transport and liaison in tough terrain. Stinson Reliant, high-wing monoplane used for light transport, ambulance duties, and limited anti-submarine patrols. Lockheed Vega, single-engine monoplane, fast and smooth, used for light transport and communications. Next up, trainers. Beechcraft AT-7 Navigator, twin-engine advanced trainer designed to teach navigation and radio procedures for future bomber crews. Beechcraft AT-10 Wichita, twin-engine trainer built mostly of wood to conserve metals, used to transition pilots to multi-engine aircraft. Beechcraft AT-11 Kansan, twin-engine trainer equipped for bomb aiming and gunnery instruction for bomber crews. Boeing Stearman PT-17 Cadet, primary biplane trainer for Army and Navy, slow, forgiving, and essential for basic flight training. Cessna AT-17 Bobcat, twin-engine advanced trainer nicknamed Bamboo Bomber for its wooden construction. Curtiss-Wright AT-9 Fledgling, demanding twin-engine trainer designed to bridge pilots from single-engine planes to high-performance bombers. Curtiss-Wright SNC Falcon, compact Navy advanced trainer, low-wing monoplane for final flight instruction. Fairchild PT-19 Cornell, simple, reliable primary trainer, open cockpit and low wing made it ideal for beginner pilots. Fairchild AT-21 Gunner, twin-boom trainer designed for gunners and bombardiers, difficult to manufacture, limited use. Fleetwing's BT-12 Sophomore, one of the first military planes built mostly of stainless steel, saw limited service as a basic trainer. North American AT-6 Texan, perhaps the most famous advanced trainer, honing the skills of virtually every Allied fighter pilot. North American BT-9, early basic trainer, a precursor to the AT-6 Texan, teaching initial combat tactics. Ryan PT-22 Recruit, popular low-wing primary trainer known for its radial engine sound, provided reliable basic instruction for thousands. Vultee BT-13 Valiant, rugged fixed-gear trainer nicknamed the Vultee Vibrator for its slight instability, essential for intermediate training. Piper PT-1, first tricycle gear primary trainer tested by the Army, produced in small numbers for evaluation. Next up, liaison, observation, and reconnaissance. Aeronca L-3 Grasshopper, a simple high-wing observation plane. Crucial for artillery spotting and liaison duties, it operated from primitive airstrips at the front lines. Curtiss O-52 Owl, high-wing observation monoplane built just before the war. Its slow speed quickly relegated it to coastal patrol and liaison tasks. Curtiss SC Seahawk, late-war high-performance float plane designed to replace the Kingfisher. Faster and more heavily armed, it saw limited combat before VJ Day. Curtiss SO-3C Seamew, intended as a Seagull replacement, plagued by instability and engine problems, it was quickly retired from operational service. Curtiss SOC Seagull, reliably sturdy biplane float plane launched from battleships and cruisers, primarily used for spotting and air-sea rescue.